Does this eggplant give you eggplant envy? I'm Greg Ott, and we're coming at you with a bunch of weird science news here on your daily news refresh, including a couple of snakes that just started a fight in front of a bunch of teachers, and some new research into why every rose has its thorn is a huge lie. But let's start things off with something you might have heard before, but is actually true this time. I'd like to show you the world's biggest eggplant. Take a look at this man in Iowa, cradling his huge eggplant. His name is Dave, and the Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship just announced that he set a world record with this thing. It weighs 8.33 pounds, measures 28 inches from around the center, and 32 inches around lengthwise. The Agriculture Department says the Iowa Weights and Measures Bureau was called to verify this record and that everything was measured accurately. So good thing Costco sells Parmesan and red sauce. And given this went down in Iowa, the Facebook comments are characteristically wholesome. Jane Garrison said, "Good going." Colleen McManus Itties wrote, "Woot woot." And Gary Lee congratulated, "Good job. I knew in kindergarten you would be well known. Just don't remember for what." Well, Gary, he's bound to be well known now, as we're all aware that he's got the largest one of these. Sorry, I'm not from Iowa.
You're like, no, stop, look.
I've been hiking in the Blue Hills my whole life. Never seen one in there, so I was surprised.
Yeah, a couple of rattlesnakes locked in a battle royale is quite the surprise that these elementary school teachers in Massachusetts stumbled upon the other day.
We have a little hiking club, and we're chit-chatting, and we're walking, and there were two trailing behind a little bit. They stopped, and they were yelling to us.
Snakes in the path.
It did look like they were dancing, and they were kind of pushing each other.
It sort of looks like a few of these things are being charmed, minus the charmer. But Massachusetts Wildlife says this is indeed a video of two male timber rattlesnakes fighting, which, unlike people going after flight attendants these days, is something that's rarely captured on camera. In spite of the fun footage, one teacher did have one minor concern.
What if you got bit? What are you supposed to do?
Well, should you ever find yourself in the same situation, hanging out with a bunch of elementary school teachers on a hike, this person from Mass Wildlife notes that you might not want to suck the venom out of your teacher's ass should a snake puncture their skin.
That is an wives' tale.
That's right. As the CDC observes on this webpage, that absolutely needs some sort of warning that you're about to look at some disgusting snakebite photos. Do not try to suck out the venom from a snakebite. Turns out that's a great way to spread poison to the mouth. And unless you're a big fan of Diet Mountain Dew or something, you don't want poison in your mouth. So just call 911.
Hospitals across the state have rattlesnake anti-venom.
This all went down at the Blue Hills Reservation just south of Boston. And our wildlife type notes that while these snakes have been around there for thousands of years, things like habitat loss, roadway accidents, and disease have left these creatures endangered in the state. This government wildlife site observes these guys are rare, venomous, and mild-mannered. And these teachers actually plan on using the snake fight footage to educate their kids.
I love studying snakes and frogs, and it does lead into like, okay, well, why don't we do a little studying about snakes? Why don't we learn about them?
And hey, if watching rattlesnakes is your thing, be sure to check out this rattle cam that we just told you about here on your daily news refresh. Please subscribe. It's a live feed of a mega den of around 2,000 rattlesnakes in Colorado, in case you were looking for a place to go for an exciting night of camping or something. Finally, roses. They're beautiful and they'll cut you. You should probably already know that, unless you've never been lucky enough to receive one of these in a televised love ceremony or something. Though when it comes to this beautiful flower equipped with a beautiful defense mechanism, scientists up until recently haven't been exactly clear as to the origin of the thorn. But new research has just shed light on how every rose gets its thorn. Which, by the way, is no rose, because with apologies to Bret Michaels, roses don't have thorns. They're actually prickles, which are made out of plant skin, and they're not the same thing as woody thorns found on other plants. Of course, prickle doesn't exactly rhyme with dawn, but then again, neither does thorn. Anyway, scientists say that prickles have been around for about 400 million years, but who's counting? And they're also found on lots of other plants, like raspberries and tomatoes. Scientists have been wondering how different plants evolved to include this same little painful grip on love. And in a new study by some international researchers just published in the journal Science, it turns out these prickles, pun intended, stem from an ancient gene family they've nicknamed Lonely Guy. Thorn or not, Bret Michaels was really on the money here. Scientists say these genes have been switched on and off in different species over millions of years. And this study says this finding provides a genetic target for prickle removal in crops, so that maybe one day we'll have thornless roses, which we technically already have. So, in summary, roses don't have thorns, and someday soon, they might not have prickles either. Before you remove Open Up and Say Ah from your library, it's worth pointing out that Bret Michaels isn't just noteworthy over that Poison song. As we told you last year here on your daily news refresh, please subscribe, Bret Michaels the singer adopted Bret Michaels the dog after Bret Michaels the dog donated blood to a kitten. That's a true labor of love. And you might want to think about updating those lyrics. Every dog has its blood. Before we go, don't forget to give this video a like and a hot subscribe to tell the algorithm you want more stuff like this in your feed. My name is Greg Ott, and we put out new, weird, and interesting news stories like these each and every day. Let us know what you think in the comments. In this recent video about a study that looked at why hens blush, MZim460 said, "I wouldn't put 2 cents into that chicken emotion study. All science has been taken over by the moonbeam people." You're telling me.